All right, I am calling the Village Board of Trustees meeting of July 22nd, 2024 to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Bratton.
Here.
Trustee Brunner.
Here.
Trustee Borkart.
Here.
Trustee Borkland. Trustee Paul Mikowski.
Here.
Trustee Kettlebaiter. Here. President Linkoff.
Here. Stand for a pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're at public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone to address the village board on any issue. Please observe the time limit of 3 minutes while the village board encourages input from resident and may not discuss or act on any issue that is not duly noticed on the agenda. Do we have anybody here that would like to speak during public comment? Do we have anybody on the internet?
Nope.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Okay, hang on, I gotta first get there. All right, we're at the consent agenda. Upon request of any trustee, any item may be removed from the consent agenda for separate consideration under general business. Does anybody want anything separated? All right, now go ahead.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it. All right, I have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same. So moved. All right, we're at village, report of village officers. I got 3 things, to cover. You all received my budget memo. Unfortunately, the numbers have changed to the worst. The 2 big ones, I had increased benefits by 3% or about 10 grand. It looks like health insurance is going up about 20 to 25,000. So that's an extra. Yeah, 15, that gets better. And then I had a EMS meeting Thursday night. The good news is if you see you're under the SIP, we're buying an ambulance that it's on there, it shows 390, but actually it'll be much lower than that. We're taking capital funds. That, just so you know, that 390 is basically 325 for the ambulance and 59,000 for the stretcher. The stretchers now are tied to lifts and everything. So we're taking capital money for sure to pay for the lift. We'll still have about 75 grand there. So there's myself and Springfield would like to use 50,000 towards the ambulance. If that's the case, our cost will be about 165. If we just go with the 325, it'd be 195,000. So it's a little bit better than what we had. Right now, this year, we're running at a $80,000 deficit. We made cuts on Thursday night that we believe will cover it for 2024, but obviously it needs to be covered in 2025. So there's a potential for the increase in EMS to be anywhere from 34,000 to 46,000. And again, I had just budgeted $10,000 increase, which was 3.5%. So we're way potentially going to be over there. So with that in mind, I think you need to start looking at the 2024 budget and look at things that we might, and again, I'm using the word might because I'm hoping when the revenue side comes in, it'll be much better and it'll cover. But if not, we are probably in the position we're going to have to look to make cuts, at least from what I put in that memo and others. I have some ideas that I'm going to try to put together, but it's too early right now. But I think everybody should take a look at this. Is going to be a difficult budget unless we were way low on the equalized value and goes up a lot higher than 2.6. But I just want to keep you guys all informed on that. The other part of EMS, there was a response time done for which included us, Middleton, Waunakee, Mount Horeb, in District 1, which is the Black Earth area. And we had pretty good, response times where we lag with all these, with a number of the other ones are. We have a policy, or we had a policy where people, if they lived within 3 minutes of the building, they could stay at home and then respond. Well, that obviously slows us down. Well, these other agencies have them at the building, so they're able to go in. The chief is looking to change that where people will be at the station, so that should help there, but what it does, what that did do is it showed response times and what the chiefs are going together to see if they can look at redoing the district lines, because response time is the key. So I don't think it's gonna be a huge impact, but it will be some. I think Springfield, if you looked at the data, parts of Springfield would probably be served quicker by Middleton and Wanakee than us on the areas that's close, because both of those can get on to 19 and to 12 while we have peak. So we may lose some territory, which means we lose population, which means our percent will go higher because we're not going to lose any of the village. So we'll keep an eye on that. And because they're looking out for themselves, I think we are. So I am going to get finance to do a study and a report to see what it would look like if we just ran our own EMS and subcontract it out. So that, I just want to give you a heads up. If you hear that, it's just looking at it, no decisions. Obviously, it'll come here. I want to make sure everybody knows it has nothing to do with service. It's just more of the management and trying to the administration part of it. It's getting awful costly for us. All right, the last is kind of a cool thing. Today, the DNR was at the creek doing their annual fish survey, trout fish survey. And it was pretty cool to watch. There was about 25, Sarah was there. There was about, I would say, 25 people and maybe half dozen or so kids there. But this is the kind of activity that, you know, we should let our people know, because we're really the stewards of that creek in town here. And I think a lot of the people that were there were from out of the community. So I'm guessing a lot of them stopped at the coffee shop, Culver's. That fits right in with our tourism. We got to get a mechanism to make sure we can post this stuff and get the word out. This one was sponsored by Groundswell, so I ended up taking a business card of the guy who's in charge of outreach and community events. So I want to see what else we can do to, you know, that kind of stuff to bring in people into our village. So that's all I have. Sorry, it was a little long, but I thought it was important to let you know. Vice President.
Just, we have 2 anniversaries, and one's a really big one. Joe Kurtzborn has 18 years at the village coming up, and Becky Ward is 6 years already. Time flies.
Yeah,
So congratulations to those 2.
absolutely. All right, other trustee reports. Anybody have one? All right, village administrator.
So Mike Axon and Brian put together a grant proposal through the DNR to help with the Lions Club Legacy project down in Xander Park, and we did get notified that they didn't get the full amount. There was a tie, and so instead of, I think they applied for 249,000, but we've tentatively been awarded, I think, 176,000.
35, I thought.
I thought it was
I
about
thought
70.
Mike said it was 135 in the 100 that they have, so it came to about half. That's what my understanding.
Either way,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just wanted to pass that along, that we, they did get some grant money for
What was
that.
their total budget? Or like, was it?
We're good at 500,000.
So they're getting there. That's all I have.
All right, village heads. Other reports or anything? All right, we'll go to general business. We'll take number 1 by the 3 subsections. This is a discussion and possible action regarding proposal for services with Town and Country Engineering. We'll do A first, Evans.
Sure thing. Hi, everybody. Last couple visits have been all water related. Kind of switching gears tonight to talk about the sewer side of things. So the first Scope I've got.
Thanks.
The first scope that we've got is, I won't go through the whole acronym, but WPDES permit application. So that's for the wastewater treatment facility. It's regulated and permitted every 5 years. It comes out about a year and a half ahead of when the expiration happens, which is now. So end of next year, the permit will technically expire. DNR requires that the application come in 180 days before that, so we're looking at a due date of about 4th of July next year. With that comes a slew of testing, including some new ones that include PFAS and sludge, so there's a little bit of unknown with what that testing is gonna look like and what's gonna come of that. There's a bunch of data input and acquisition, some mapping. Basically, they want 5 years worth of summary of what's been going on in the plants. We were asked to assist the village staff with any of the data input or acquisition or mapping, so we kind of just got a loose as directed proposal to assist the village on the permit application process, and again, do that at direction of staff. I want to say 5 years ago, it was like a $2,000 to $3,000 endeavor when we were all said and done. But we left it kind of open-ended because it'll depend on what comes of results and what is all needed out of us. So this is every 5 years. This is a state statute thing. There's a entry portal on the DNR's website where this all gets entered. They do a review of the application that will go on public notice. And then the thought is by January 1 of 2026, you have a new permit in hand and doesn't look any different, besides potentially some new limits.
Okay, Jerry, do you have money in your budget this year to cover this cost, or are you looking for this to be part of the 2025 budget?
We'll get started on it this year and I've got cash for it.
There's money, yeah, there's
Money for it, so we don't have to worry about the 2020. All right, now you said last year was, the 5 years ago, it was around.
I want to say we're in the 2 to 3 range. It wasn't.
Okay, so this is now where we're gonna be surprised, where it's gonna be 20,000 or 25,000.
No, if it came to that, they would certainly know as soon as I know, and we wouldn't build to, we would stop well before that.
Okay,
This is usually not a huge endeavor.
okay.
But there's enough stuff in there that it usually stretches the staff a little bit.
Yeah, no, I just, it's more knowing, a blank check really could kill us. Like now, we're only 13,000 under levy limit, so anything comes over 13,000, yeah, so I just wanna make sure we're understanding the finance of
This
it.
cost will come out of the general fund, this is sewer cost.
Okay,
Yeah, this is all sewer utility stuff, this and the next couple.
okay,
And if, to be crystal clear, so that is not a word if it ever came to the point where we were starting to cringe on what got approved tonight, you're gonna hear about it before we get further into it, so.
okay, appreciate that. All right, do I have a motion? Yeah, we're gonna do one at a time. So it'd be a motion to hire, Town and Country to assist staff with the Wisconsin pollutant discharge elimination system permit.
Second.
Oh,
So move in second.
all right, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same, so moved. All right, we'll go to B now. This is the sewer utility cash flow analysis.
Just so you know, I make the headings a little bit longer every time, just so you have to read them all.
Yeah.
So this one, so we're talking again on the sewer utility. We met with staff, a couple weeks back already. The village looked at sewer rates back in 2019. At the time, it was decided, let's just stay the course, maintain rates as is, realizing that in 2025, the Clean Water Fund loan, which is to pay off the treatment plant, will be, the final payment will occur in 2025. So there is a debt cliff in the sewer utility coming in 2025. Based on increases in O&M or decreases, we don't know. Some potential future expenses with PFAS and the sludge I mentioned. We know that Dane Iowa was doing some planning, which is where the village hauls their sludge. we kind of wanted to look at another cash flow analysis for just the sewer utility. And then bring to the board some options for what the rate alternatives would be. And then one of those being, potential reduction, maintain, obviously hope to not go up, but give you guys a picture of what that would look like with that type of funding.
Okay. I was just gonna say, if I read that correctly, that's like 10,000 for that one.
Our services would be 10,000. The debt payment that occurs annually right now is in the tune of 400,000 on the sewer utility. So what we would do in that 10,000 is, again, based on 2019, we got into the weeds pretty good on that one because of the TID. So I'm hopeful again that it wouldn't get that high, but that's why I went for it.
I guess here's my, on this, cause I was at that meeting, part of it I called it because I believe we can cut rates. We're reducing, an expenditure of over 400, it's about $430,000. And again, I believe some of that, since that's no longer a cost, we shouldn't be charging for it. I would ask that we postpone this one until you've seen my analysis, which will be in September, because I'm the one that put on there to reduce the rates. This to me is very simple. We don't need to charge, we don't need, to me, to go into depth. It's basically an expense coming off the books. So what do you want to do with the money? It's like when you finish paying your mortgage off. What are you gonna do with that money? That's what really the decision is. And like I say, I don't want to get into all the details right now, because it would take a long time, and you'll be getting a report from me in September. So I would ask that we postpone this until the September meeting.
So you don't need any kind of motion, or this is what happens?
No, we would make a motion to postpone
Okay.
the sewer utility cash flow analysis rate alternatives project to the September meeting. That's a lot, it's a lot of money, and I'm not sure we really need to spend that.
Right, I don't know
To me,
if
it's
we
so
have
much.
10,000.
Huh?
I don't know if we have the 10,000,
Well,
like you say,
that's
so
the other thing.
I will
So,
make the motion that we postpone the sewer utility cash flow analysis and rate alternatives until September's meeting.
I'll second.
all right, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. So move. C. This is, for looking at the sewer utility capital project planning document.
Yeah, so I guess somewhat going along the lines with what you're looking at, Jay, we're in conjunction with offering up that cash flow and rate alternatives analysis. The sewer utility itself has a lot of assets within the, so at the plant, yes, the facility itself will be paid off with the equipment. There's stuff there that is now 20 years old. Looking at a systematic approach for needs of equipment replacement at the plant. And then also looking at the collection system as a whole. So the sanitary utility, sewer utility often gets looked at under the microscope of inside the fence at the plant. To my knowledge, we do not have a comprehensive plan of additional collection system projects that are sewer utility driven. So deteriorating pipes or undersized pipes, things of that nature. And the guy in the back of the room has a lot of that up in his head. And we want to try to help put that into a document that the village can use for planning year by year, and then put some cost estimates to those. So between our wastewater team and our municipal team, Brian and Nick Durava, they would help on the street side of things. We would look at the inside the fence things. We come with, here's where some other places that the sewer utility could be spending some money. So that was the intention of this one. And we've got that down at the bottom, and it's $6,000 estimate to put that together.
People's thoughts?
Well,
Go ahead.
I actually like the fact that some things will get in writing, so just in case that we would have a plan for the future and plan, I mean, that's what you're pretty much doing, like giving us a plan of how we can spend the money going forward. And the directions of it, so I kind of like that.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
I was gonna say with Jerry nearing retirement, I think if they had a document where what's in his head can get put on paper, like $6,000, it's a lot, it could save a lot in the future too.
I agree. I have no problem with a plan, but here's what I got a couple questions for you. Would we ever just replace sewer pipes? Would we ever just dig a trench, pull out the pipe and put new pipe in?
Yes, I can't say.
Yeah, I mean, the roads, under the roads, that's,
Highly unlikely that you would just do the sewer pipe. Like you're tearing up the road. Really makes the most sense to do the whole shebang.
right, would be like Brewery Road. Stormwater, water, road.
Storm sewer.
Right, so that's where, if we do this. There's gotta be that part of, you can't, up to me saying Park Street's gonna cost $1 million to the sewer. That's
Oh.
great, but if it costs us 3 million to do water, stormwater and road, we can't afford it. And I really do not wanna go back to the PSC and increase water rates after a 39% increase. So again, the reason I do it, I like the idea of the strategic plan. I'm always for that. It's the practicality of it. Are we gonna be able to do anything? When you say Park Street should be replaced and the sewer part is 1.2 million, but it runs 5 million with $1 million to water, 4 million for streets and stuff, is it really something we're gonna be able to afford to do? So I'm trying to get what the value would be. I think it's great for the identification part of it, no doubt.
So, one thing,
This project is, that Evan is telling me about, more related to what's inside the fence of the sewer. Not necessarily the collection system.
we've got both figured in here, not that I disagree. So, the one thing that, I guess, without naming names of other communities that are in a position where the debt is falling off and you have additional revenues, more revenue coming in. There's declarations made at board level of this is a sewer project. So your differentiation of 50-50 water sewer, or 33-33-33 for water sewer GO. If it's a sewer related problem and all that hype was in the way, there are communities that are making the declaration this is a sewer project and that's being paid for with sewer funds. And that comes down to this level. That's a political decision, a planning decision. So there's ways to, I guess, allocate costs differently, especially when there is additional revenues in one utility or another.
Well, we tried that for Brewery Road and we could only do, and I thought the law changed where it's only 20% you can do.
That's the clean water fund. So if you were to go through the DNR funding, yes, I can only allocate 20% of the GO money to the sewer or water utility. But if there is $1 million of cash available in the sewer utility, and well, that 8-inch clay pipe down there and those bad manholes, we gotta rip up the road and there's water main in the way. There are communities with the cash able to make that project a sewer project if it's funded locally.
And they're changing the water by local percent.
If they want to, yes. And obviously they're on different sides of the road typically. So if you want to dig the one side of the road and just do the sewer pipe, you can, but to Jerry's point, sometimes that's not always the best decision in the time. So we can, all of this is a break up the estimates.
Well, I'm just thinking true budgeting, you need to do that.
Yep.
I hear what you're saying, but again, it's a matter of the cost of all the, curb and gutter, water, storm water, all of that all gets into these projects, so.
Yes.
There has to be the reality check there.
Yep.
And if we're willing to do it, not that I'm a big infrastructure guy, so I'm not, but I'm just looking, we got a pool coming up.
Right.
You know, we're building a building this, next year, we have a lot of capital outlays, so I don't know if we can commit to doing big road projects like we did Brewery Road, every year.
Yeah, and this doesn't tie you down to anything. It's
No, no,
start-
I just wanna make sure all of that is included, so it doesn't look, oh, we can do Park Street for 1.2 million, well, not really.
Yeah, so let's use that, 1.2, I've got figured in here a couple meetings with you guys to go through this, so. Does that 1.2 look like 1 million on sewer and 200 on GO, or do you wanna make it a sewer project? It all comes down to how much money the sewer utility tax.
I'm more worried about what the cost of the road, the water pipe, and the
And that,
stormwater.
yeah,
is.
I'm building that into that 1.2.
Oh, okay.
So we can shift those around to help your guys' financial picture year by year, depending on how your budgeting works. So I think we can get to where you want and put the dollars where we need it to be. Until you look at funding with the regulatory means like we have, that's when that 20% would catch us. So if there's a situation where sewer's strapped with cash, or not strapped, but full of cash. And you wanna shed some of the typical GO things to sewer because it was a sewer project, we could present it that way.
That's good. I guess my question, says it's for the evaluation of wastewater treatment plants, facility equipment age, remaining life expectancy and replacement costs. I mean. Is that something staff could just do? Town and country have to be involved? Could Jerry just write a memo and do this? Save $6,000?
He could certainly tell us what things are bad. We're interfacing with a lot of these people on a regular basis, doing projects enough that we have a pretty good handle on what it's gonna take with the cost, for cost estimating purposes, and that's gone up, as you guys saw on the water side. The water wastewater world, it's not slowed down in costs, so I don't wanna discount Jerry's ability, because we know he's really good at what he does, but I think there's.
He's only gonna be here 6 months.
But I won't lose any sleep on somebody on Sandy.
Well, I'm just looking at it, I don't know, if it, need a full report on it. I mean, I've never been in it.
I guess for you guys to understand, this is not meant to be a CIP, a capital improvements plan. This is, take a look at where are some known deficiencies of the plan, put some cost to it. And then just I'm expecting a 11x17 table of years where we can start to try and allocate some costs. And then you guys can move those wherever you want. You can say that's important or not. We can prioritize those treatment plant items by high to low priority. It's just kind of turn something into a living document for you guys to start building off of. Especially again, on that last one, as you start to develop potentially some more revenues coming in.
Do you think that this document could limit downtime or problems within the plant facility, where you go in, see something that maybe Jerry hasn't seen, and put that at the front of the list versus the back?
Yeah, exactly. The hope would be we can get our eyes on. Okay, and touch that, get the maintenance records from Tim Gary, can you touch that one a while, that should be high. If that goes down, what are your options? That may impact plant performance or effluent quality, try and prioritize it that way. So yeah, I do think there would be a benefit to the staff.
And Jerry, do you have funds in it's the sewer, so we don't have to worry about that. When would this report, when could you have it done by?
We could do it this year yet, unless you want it sooner.
Well, I think the one reason I would support this is clearly because, my feeling with what our discussion is gonna be in September. So obviously, for both of us, it would be of value to have it at the September meeting.
Okay.
And that'd be the 4th Monday, if it gets through, which, if we could have it by then. And then the other thing is just a list of the year, kind of a general thing, like how old, where the oldest pipes are. We know Creek Crossing, Scenic Valley, Brewery Road are fairly new. Where are our oldest pipes? You know what I mean? Kind of give a historical of where the pipes are. I know, didn't we do Valley not too long ago?
Yeah, valleys.
Yeah.
As far as Brewery Road.
Okay, yeah, that's the kind of knowledge that I think we want to get from Jerry.
Right.
That historical perspective on that, so I see a value, in that too. So those are the two, if we can do both of those, and I guess the piping one doesn't have to be done necessarily by September.
No, I think that's a good, if it's, again, if it goes, I think that's a good goal, and we certainly plan to have a draft at the September meeting.
Start with inside the fence at the facility.
Yep,
and then
that would be fine.
work out.
Well, right, because it also feeds into what you're talking about for the analysis, because if there's gonna be large capital things coming up, then that feeds into, we just replaced the $400,000 on the sewer with a $200,000 loan to replace the pumps or something.
Right, no, I agree, that's where I see that's what I was saying by September, so.
And yeah, full disclosure, we kind of had assumed that these would go in parallel with each other, but I have no problem putting
Yeah,
this in front of it to then build off of if you guys want to do the rates later.
We'll see how, Jay's report turns.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not too worried about that. All righty, any other discussions or questions? Do we have a motion on the table? I don't even know. Okay, all right. Would someone like to make the motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll move to approve the scope of services for sewer utility capital project planning document with a draft by September 15th.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. So moved. All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Evan. So we're at discussion and possible action regarding sign permit application for 1807 Main Street. Bobby, why don't you fill us in?
Okay, yep, Kim Egan's from here. Kim here owns, the Salon Fido building on Main Street, and she wanted to redo her signs, add some new ones, update some existing ones, so she turned in a sign permit. And it, did not meet code. Our code says you can only have, signs on 2 facades, and she wanted to do east-west and then the front windows. So I initially denied the first one. And then Kim came in and we kind of talked things out. She wanted to get going on the project. So we kind of split the projects and approved half. And then, so what we're looking at tonight is just the like window and door stuff. So these 3 photos here, what's in this light blue is not actually blue, that's just clear glass.
Clear glass.
Yeah, so it's just so you can,
The only new additional sign is the one on the garage, otherwise all the others are just updating what I used to have. Almost to the letter on the windows, but with my new logo and color scheme. To match the building number it was painted finally.
Is that the
Yeah.
garage one? What
The
one?
garage will be that professional looking one
Yeah.
currently.
so currently she has this.
That was.
Oh, gotcha.
The only-
Okay.
That was the only picture we had, and that's the sign we've been using since COVID, and through COVID realized the way that we were bringing people in and out of the building was really working well for us and for the safety of the pets, so we decided to keep that protocol, so I wanted to make an additional, much better looking sign, professional looking sign, and put it on my garage. We have the lettering on the door, is very little extra has been added there, the hours we have on our doors, which has been a complaint of many of my clients over the years. The lighted sign is on the side of the building. That's just a new cover to an existing sign that's been there since 2003. The sign on the Remington side, there used to be 4x8 roughly sign there that said Salon Fido underneath it with 3 other signs dating back to 1980 when it was a hair salon, we found out, when I had them taken down. And I'm only now replacing that sign. And then, I have pictures of what my windows look like now to show that this is almost exactly what I have, only with my new logo and my new colors.
So just tell me, the light blue is really
Represents-
clear.
It's just clear glass, yeah,
Clear
It's just how
glass.
they do.
yeah, so it's just this.
This
and
plus
this.
the phone number,
Yeah.
and then on the other side, it's
just
the
the
dogs
wording.
and the lettering. only.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
And all the rest would be see-through. And I would like to place it all on the outside of the windows because it would be more striking, and better as people are driving by and stuff. And that's what I guess makes it a sign.
Well, Yeah, inside our ordinance, because I kind of reviewed this with Bobby, in terms of window signs, our ordinance states that window signs have to be located on the interior of the window and face outward. So they can't, so technically it can't be permitted on the outside of the window, because then it, in my opinion, turns into an on-building sign if it's on the outside of the building.
Millie's has 5 of them right now.
I
They're
do,
outside.
right, and some people do and some people don't. The issue with that is that, you know, we could go and enforce Millie's, or how else we want to approach it. Because by allowing external window signs that are decals like this, there's actually been a few added in the village recently, like Lake Ridge Bank put one out on the outside of their above door, this little transit that just says Lake Ridge Bank on it. It's the decal on the outside of the window. It isn't on the inside, and it just looks like an on-building sign that is attached to the window. The danger of allowing, this is the danger of allowing decals on windows on the outside, is that you can see a massive proliferation of them all over the place. Whereas window signs are, in my opinion, the way it's written, they can't exceed more than 33% of the window, so they're meant to be smaller, not large. A lot of them are used around the village just as entry, like on the inside of an entry door into a business, saying this is where the bank is, this is where the dental office is where you see them used most of the time.
Yeah, could you get that to be where the sticky side is on, so you could put it mounted on the inside?
Yeah,
I mean,
it just wouldn't look as nice. And it wouldn't be as striking. or
Because
as noticeable.
the glass,
The glass will have a slight tint to it because of
Uh-huh.
the sun beating into the store and the salon. And, you know, that's what's already there right now. And around on countless buildings and businesses all around town. And I'm not asking to add anything new. I just want to switch it out. That's why I didn't ask before I did it, because it didn't occur to me that I wasn't adding anything new, I'm just updating what I already have with the new logo. I mean, literally the bullet points and type is the same, only now it's in blue. And I've taken away the little, I can show you this is what is normally, or is on there now. And it's only just starting now to peel off, and that's been up since 2009. You know, so it's done by a professional sign company too,
So can I ask, so is that one is on the outside?
this one is on the outside, yes.
Okay.
And then I have this one, which is on the inside, but you can see it's not,
Yeah.
you know.
Right, that's not like a piece of fabric, is it?
No, that's on a piece of plexiglass on the
Is
inside
that-
of the
that-
window.
Something hanging.
Yeah, that was to help with the glare into the shop, but. Oops. That one looks a lot nicer because it's, you know, and that's presentation is everything when you're in business.
Well, sure, I understand that, but again, with being on the outside of being striking.
Like Millie's is very striking, all 5 windows, plus her door, plus her sign sticking out the front. You know, Crossroads Ice Cream Shop has 3 murals on the side of their building, along with signs on their windows and doors with ours and Crossroads and their logo and things like that.
but that's in, the murals are in, they've met.
That's not a
zoning
They're
sign.
on brick.
Well,
They're
it's
on
not
a
a,
brick.
I don't think it's a sign.
It's not,
They're-
yeah,
It's not a
like
sign, it's a mural, it's a different, they're okay, they came through here, and that meets code.
That's art, it's not endorsing product. Those murals, they're like pictures of ladybugs, flowers and stuff.
Yeah, I just don't pay attention to all the signage, so I wouldn't even know what's on those bids. Yeah,
I like the fact that it looks more professional on this side and you can see it better, so I don't have a problem with how you're doing it. And honestly, for someone that goes there, where it says like the park sign that you just had, parking call. I think having the other one looks so much more professional.
That's been approved.
yeah, that's approved, that's not a problem, it's the
I love
little
the
one,
sign is
the
a-
side one,
Yeah.
the garage one is good.
No, I like what you're doing. I like what you did. I think they're more professional and you can read them better. So I don't
Yeah.
have a problem.
Well, I don't have here, I think Michael brings up a valid point. That we have a zoning code, and if we don't wanna enforce the zoning code, then let's change it. All right, if we're comfortable with having them on the outside, then we should change the code. it is not right to have a zoning code this and then we change it because then the next person you may not like, so you're gonna say no. We shouldn't be approving this because we like it. We should be approving it that we think it's something that we would accept if any other business came in and did that. So, I mean, that's what we have to kind of look at.
Couldn't you rewrite the code to, have people have to take care, you know, to not let it get into disrepair, so that it doesn't look. I mean,
Well,
is that-
absolutely.
is
I
that
mean,
the
we-
issue?
All.
As I understand you're saying, is that what it is, that it's, that you're feeling like they'll get weathered and look horrible eventually?
No, I'm not saying that, the decal is probably made out of fairly decent things, it's just our current zoning code allows 2 on-building signs. And I interpret that as 1, 2, 3, 4 on-building signs that you have, because each one of those windows counts as one, you have 1 on one side, you have 1 on the other, now you have 4 on-building signs, because the window sign is on the exterior of the window and not on the interior of the window.
But I don't understand why
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
problem,
I-
because Millie's has 7 of them. on each
Don't look
side.
at it.
But I
I'm-
have to, as a business in this town, especially for over 20-some years. You know, where all these other newer businesses are allowed to do these things. And I don't know if it's because they asked or they were approved or they just went ahead and did it. So this
Yeah.
is very important to me in my business, and I spend a great deal of money.
Yes, and I don't wanna say that it's not important.
If we need.
Just hang on, let me just say, Michael's point is, if we have a zoning code, we should enforce it, okay? I'm agreeing with that. Now, on the other hand, to me, I don't understand how a sign on the outside is a sign, and if it's on the other side of the glass, it's not a sign. That makes no sense to me. I think we need to look at it, we either want signage on windows, or we don't, or restrict it, and if it's inside or outside, I don't, that to me is a small thing that doesn't make sense to me, I'm looking at the bigger picture. I value it, so what should happen, and I don't have a problem if we do it, but we approve it tonight, but we have to look at changing it then. If we're gonna allow people to do that, and we don't really care if it's on the front or the back, and that's kind of where I'm at, there's probably a half-inch piece of glass? I don't get it.
Well,
But I do believe the size makes a difference. I don't want people driving down the 14 and every business window from corner to corner where you can't even see its window is a sign. You know what I mean?
Like the Mexican restaurant
yeah, it's like the Mexican.
and the massage parlor?
But those are,
We don't wanna see it.
yeah, but again, and I think if you would go to public safety, because a lot of ordinances that restrict the size is for the safety of it, so people can see in the businesses.
Right.
So I just want to make you understand that we're not trying to, Michael's point is a valid point. Right now, we have an ordinance that says what it says.
Right.
So this group has to decide, in this case, we could go ahead, but we have to decide if we want to change that ordinance and then start moving in that direction, because it isn't fair. Because I'm sure when people see that, they automatically think it's okay. And there's probably people that don't think it's a sign, you know. Go ahead, Doug.
So I agree with Jay, and I would be in favor of granting this. And I'm looking at the ordinance, because I can tell you as a small business owner, it seems crazy. But I probably have $100,000 worth of business annually from my vehicle back. And I know that these things are valuable, but also valuable as a consumer. Because I do once in a while try to go to a place that I can't tell if it's the place or not. So I think with the signs having about the same size, I think they actually look nicer than what's
So
there.
being on 14 is their main source of advertising.
100%. So I'd be in favor of making an exception for this sign and then update the ordinance, because I don't think it makes sense whether it's on the inside or outside of the.
So I am not gonna be in favor of granting this, just because when you, as you're saying, you place the decal on the inside of the window, it loses some of its pop, which means it turns it into less of an aesthetically bright thing. You start doing like what you're saying, you put a bunch of them on the outside of all these windows. All you have is a bunch of stuff on the outside of these windows that, when you're trying to make Main Street look nice, no offense, you start doing that, you start losing this open air quality. And other business like the coffee shop, they just started covering all those windows and things on the backside The Bethel Cafe, their windows are not covered all, they can start covering them, but $3 sandwiches.
Well, according to your ordinance, like you said, only a third of worth of the window could be like that, so.
Well, if it's
So
on
that-
the inside, it's currently that way. I'm not even sure that this is allowed 5, I think that exceeds 33% right now. When I did my math on it, and I think the other one definitely does also. I mean, you're covering a fair amount of, 33% is just 1/3.
Well, I don't think the one
But
with
it's
the
all
dog eating
clear,
hours.
light blue is all.
Yeah, that's
clear
all
glass.
I-
And it's done tastefully, I mean, I don't know what, it's very hard for a business then to, you
That's,
know.
that's why window signs were just supposed to be designed for an entry door of saying this is the.
So the
it's not
salon
supposed to
and
go on the
pet
front
retail store
window.
like myself and 72 by 72-inch windows to have nothing on them is silly. That's a waste of space.
Depends on your opinion, it was.
Well,
But you
yeah, as a
decide-
business person of 20-some years, that's my opinion.
Well, you can take your sign off the one side and place it on one of your windows, and you get 2 on building signs. Like
So
that's
that
how I-
would-
Let's just bring it back, let's just bring this back, there's difference of opinions, and that's why we're here. And certainly, everybody can vote the way they are, so. Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the sign permit for Silent Vital, and I would like to revisit the ordinance to change where the sticker placement is counted on this.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, I have a second. I have a motion and a second discussion. Doug,
I do think in the past, our boards have been accused of not being business polite or business friendly. I do understand the reasons for ordinances and why things don't look right, but I also want them, our businesses to feel valued and on certain things in marketing that may not be as pleased to everybody, but it helps the business and a few more clients, which helps the business in town. So that's kind of my reasoning. And having seen how things are installed, like window tint and signage, I do understand the differences in the interior and exterior look and the interior exterior, how long they last. So I think it's very reasonable to update the ordinance.
all right, Cody?
I'm very similar to where you're coming from, Jay, and I understand what you're saying, Michael, but having owned a small business as well. I always hate it when you're restricted on what you can do there, what you can put in your windows, what sign you can have. My one question is the lit sign? Are you fixing that? Like, will it be lit again, or you will keep it on?
It's on a timer
Okay. Um,
that also gets adjusted for daylight savings time and stuff, so it's off by like 9 o'clock. They can make it in middle of Saturday.
but I think it's tasteful and I think it's an improvement.
All right,
Well, I'm not in favor of this, and I understand you wanting to approve it, but I think that's. We're approving a sign that we don't have an ordinance for, we don't know what our ordinance is going to read. How many of the windows are doing? If we change our ordinance, will this location be in violation of the new ordinance?
well, really what we're doing tonight is we are actually, she's appealing the decision of Bobby. Not approving it, so all we're doing is approving the permit. That's all we're doing, we're not making any other statements or anything. It's an appeal process, so we're dealing just with the appeal. She's appealing the decision of Bobby's to not give her the permit. This group is overriding that potentially, that's what we're to okay the permit.
But that's.
So it doesn't-
Also change the ordinance.
Yeah, he
That's
put,
up to advise to look at changing.
yeah, so you can, it's okay to do a and in there. All right, we better do a roll call.
Trustee Bratton,
Yes.
trustee Borcar,
Yes.
trustee Brunner,
Yes.
trustee Paul Mikowski,
No.
trustee Borkland.
Yes.
Trustee Kettlebaiter
Yes.
and President Langfeld.
Yes. All
Bobby,
right,
did you hear me?
I did, yes.
you want
Okay.
to appeal, so you can go ahead with, the signs that you presented tonight.
Will you
Thank
be
you.
letting Eric know then, sending him a
Sure.
new thing, or should I? I mean, I can let him know, but does he need official documentation from me?
I'll send them a permit, the thing with the approval.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yep. You put up the PowerPoint? Alright, so we're at the Village Police number 5, just discussion. We met again Thursday. There's a lot of meetings on Thursday for me. You can jump past that. So here's I appreciate everybody that did the survey. I think when you take surveys, you have the right to see the results, right? So we'll quickly go through the results. Question 1 was your name, so we kind of assumed that everybody got that one right. So here's the question 2. I'm not gonna read them out to you. You can see what the answers were of your colleagues. Question 3 was on the village boardroom. I call it the community room. Question 4 is on the technology and AV of the, what does that
The
say?
dais. at the
What is
front.
this? Diocese? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the dais.
I got a bad angle here.
Oh.
So the things there, so we took, they hopefully captured everybody's comments on that. Can go to question 5. There's 5 on the style, so we had 3 people.
3 wanted it mobile,
Okay.
3 wanted it.
Yeah, 3 wanted flexible, mobile, 1 wanted it fixed in place, and 1 wanted it visible, 2 wanted it visible all the time, I guess. All right, question 6, security, locked doors, surveillance, and then obviously further discussion. I think we're really kind of limited since it's a room that's open to the public. Our board meetings are open to a public. It's limited what you can do. Question 7 was the ideal location of staff, clerk, to be seated during board meetings. This was interesting. Most of us thought they should be with us on there. Their feelings, they'd rather be to the side of us because they can see who's talking.
Oh,
So when Bobby's taking notes, if you're sitting like this, you can kind of try to guess, but it's much easier looking the other way. So that was a good thing. We all thought we were doing.
right, you would have thought we wanted to make them part of it. you
Yeah,
know, part of
yeah.
it.
So that was,
Well, That's very.
We're not gonna be in the back.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Totally communicated that.
Yeah.
yeah, it was. It's very interesting. And then 8, how do we do the presentation? Almost everybody thought at a table, 1 with a podium. I think what we'll do is probably you can get those half podiums, so you can put it on. People can sit if they want, but if they feel more comfortable standing, there's a podium for them to lay paper. So that, and then there's just a whole boatload of things that people put out there that they thought should be included in that community room, which was really good. So I don't think there was anything, outlandish there at all, so I think it was really good. All right, and this is additional thoughts. So you can see things that people thought that should be in the building that weren't necessarily asked about. And then 11, new site. What do you want on the site besides just the building? We all know who did number 4, because none of us else would understand that.
Wow.
That's a suggestion.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. But, so.
Jay did number 2 then, I'll call him up.
Yeah, you can say that, yeah, no doubt about that. 1 and 2 are mine. So I think there's some good ideas on that. I think that was good that we were able to give some feedback into this. All right, click the next one. So this is, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time. The one on the left was the one before the last meeting. This is the one after we had a discussion. You can see June 24th, 18. Go to the next page, because this is the one that is just a kicker. So we ended up actually reducing the amount by 500 square feet. But when they do their formula, for some reason, they changed the formula between the two. So the multiplier, it made it, we cut it by 500 square feet, but it jumped it up by 400 square feet.
Oh.
Cause that would be the loss of, and we don't see it laid out, but it would be efficiency. You know, more hallways, but I just don't get it. I mean, we didn't change.
Well,
Really?
do they know about, so when we go through and break it down, they haven't added in there for like mechanical.
Yeah, they have a gross thing that you have to take in for walls and hallways and stuff.
It doesn't make sense to me how it works with.
How, well, I understand
I
that
get how
part,
it
yeah.
works, but it doesn't.
I don't understand the
So
change.
did you go back to the other?
No, we're just, see, here's one of the problems we have. I didn't even get to see this before the meeting, because they mailed it out at like,
An hour
like
before.
noon or 2 o'clock, you know? So it takes me time to look it over. That'll be my question, is it's tied to efficiency? I don't know how they changed the multiplier.
It'd be nicer to just have more space.
And you go back.
Right, isn't that what you're saying is that
Yeah,
it's. You took out something, but because of either hallways or things, so could we put that thing back in?
oh, no, we don't wanna do that. Cause we actually did, I don't think it's so much of, some is removing, but a lot of it is adjusting.
Okay,
You know, this room doesn't have to
I
be
thought it
this
was like
big.
a closet or something.
Yeah.
Bring that closet back.
Yeah, but anyways, that'll be one of my questions that I asked, and I've sent them a number of
Okay.
questions, once I had an opportunity to look at it. Did you have something you wanted to
No, I
say?
just wanted to look, I hadn't seen it, so I was just curious, I wanted to see the numbers, yeah, but you're right, they're all less, so that's weird.
Yeah,
Well,
all right. So this would be kind of their first shot at what the site. So the building, the parking, and you can see 28, this one has, they figured 28 stalls in front, 40, and they may be able to get another 20 back there. That hits us with 88 stalls plus the 7 that they had for police, so we're at 95, we wanted 100, that's right in the ballpark. I think that's really right on, so we're sitting good there. Go ahead, click the next one. And again, this is our first time. This is where I want I don't wanna spend a lot of time on this. My main thing is if you look at the boardroom, which is the community room, the way that's set up, there's 0 windows to the outside. I'm having a difficult time with that one. I've never seen that. I have sent them. I sent the architect, if they could send me some, they've done so many buildings, if they could send me a couple sites that they've done that, so I can see the finished product, what it looks like. But I'm having a difficult time with having no windows to our community room.
Well, they did say that there's a possibility to do like a raised roof feature with glass up there.
Yeah, but that's not a window,
No,
that's like
for
a
nat-
skylight.
Right, for natural lighting.
Could it be windows to the lobby? Which would then,
like move it.
Yeah.
Right, so this would be like glass here,
yeah.
so you could
right.
get.
But it's
Then
still
light
not a
in here.
window to the outdoors, and I'm thinking we got a park, I don't know, we'll have to look at it, I'm not a
I
big
just
fan of.
wondered if you could see through the lobby to the outdoors.
We got a vestibule there,
Yeah,
you know, in the wall, it's not, you know,
but
the
even
front,
if the vestibule can move over, that-
yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it, but so go to the next shot. The next shot is the basement, and I had 2 concerns with this. One, where the mechanical room is in the southwest corner there. So I sent them asking them where they're thinking to put the air conditioning unit and generator, because where it's there, I don't want that stuff in the front of the building. And to that side of the building is the rest area, you know, off the track. I just see what they have to say on that, and then if you look at the garage part, that's 4 garage doors, 2 car garages and 1 single. I think from the back, it's gonna look like an oil changing building
How many
with,
police cars do we have though?
the original plan was for 6 spots, we have 3. And again, I sent this to them, I don't sure why we can't just have 1 garage door, you pull into a parking area, 3 spots on each side. Because the efficiency of having 4 garage doors is gonna be atrocious. And I think we're trying to make this sustainable and anyways, this is the first shot, so they just threw it out there, but I just wanted to let you know, and I certainly want feedback from you on that, but I think there's better ways of doing it.
So do the garage doors, that's what faces Andrew Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't.
Do we have
It'll be-
murals on all the garage?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was my first comment. We're gonna have to do something to
Yeah.
dress them up,
Yeah.
you know, maybe paint them so it looks like brick or something. I don't,
Yeah,
if
that
that's
was
the.
my comment.
I just don't know, I'm trying to figure out why you would go that route instead of just one garage door pulling into a parking area.
And why do we need $6?
Well, because we want it to grow. You know, I mean, we don't wanna build it for 3 and then in 2 years, we need a 4th stall. And the way that Sally port, that's for, like a evidence car, so if we went with 3, you wouldn't have any room to bring a car inside the process. And I think that if we're gonna build a new building, that is one thing that we should be able to do, is bring in cars and big items to process out of the weather condition. That's kind of,
Did the police chief give any
Oh,
feedback?
I mean, we just saw, the problem is it just came,
Yeah, I guess
um,
I want to know his opinion. on
yeah.
that.
We see this, like, they didn't actually send us this until I asked him after the meeting. I was like, can you send us the,
oh, that, yeah,
and he was like, yeah, I'll do it now.
well, that's right, I did.
Yeah, we just got the agenda right before, we
Yeah,
didn't get into
that's
this
right,
at all.
that's right, thank you.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something you wanna say, like, and I know they want to
We've asked
present it
them,
to us.
Yeah.
So I get that, but
But it's not as, I'm with you, it's not as valuable to present us something we haven't seen, and we're seeing it for the first time. Some of us I'm not the smartest guy, and I need time to look at it and ask questions to try to figure things out.
just now I looked, so like the emergency management conference room, that could feasibly be swapped almost with the mechanical
Yeah.
electrical. And so then it's right off of,
Exactly,
wide
that's what I'm saying, yeah, I hear
I
you,
didn't think of that the whole time until I just looked at it, like, oh, well,
Yeah.
that emergency room would feasibly be in the back corner, deep in the ground, so it would also double as a tornado shelter.
right,
But another thing I just thought of was where you had said, like, the tornado rooms for getting a grant, right, that's kind of off the board.
yeah.
Well, with where that boardroom lays, if that was a tornado shelter,
Oh,
emergency shelter,
you might meet the
you would
requirement,
meet the requirements to get that grant.
oh, that's a good thought, didn't think of
There's
that,
no window,
very good.
so Put it up.
I will definitely put that, that's a good
Because
idea,
I agree with you wholeheartedly in the fact that there's no windows, it's kind of weird, right? But like when it's gonna get used, no one wants to look up, well, I wanna look outside during all those meetings. But like
yeah,
it's an interior building, that just came to me too, like that, or we could have that as a,
yeah.
it's gonna be more expensive to build as a shelter, but in the event you have something over at Xander Park and you have one of those storms like we had during, what, Cross Plains World's Fair,
Yeah.
where it was like, get out of the park, go home, and then there's tornadoes.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's an interesting thought. Alrighty, so I'm just keeping you guys filled in, like I say, this was our first time, and he's right, we didn't even see it before the meeting, we got it after. But I think that's the last slide, right?
That's for just questions, yep.
Yep, so that was where we're at, just keeping you guys informed, and if you have strong feelings, certainly let me know.
Hey, Jay,
Yes,
would it be possible to send that out to us or put it in the OneDrive or something for us to, like you, I'd like to kind of spend a little time with it and look at it.
yeah, we can send that out,
Thank you.
but I'm glad I forgot you're online here, here's the thing, where are we with your IT committee?
I have people in mind and I've asked one and they've accepted, but I'm not much further than that.
Okay, they kind of were putting some pressure on us. Their IT guy wants to kind of start talking with our people so he can start thinking about it. How do you think you can get something together and have a meeting with, I don't think we have another meeting set up unless he's gotten back to you. So we probably have 2-3 weeks. Is that possible? Otherwise, I think you're gonna have to do it solo with the rest of us, and I don't know the expertise of the guy that they have.
Right, I can try to get something in that time. I could also talk to the guy and, for starters, and kind of see what he needs for information.
Okay. We will collect that information, we'll send Matt a email and ask him for the contact information, then we'll send it to you.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
You betcha. All right, we're at discussion and possible action regarding scheduling. And I don't want it to be a special village meeting, it's gotta just be another village meeting for. We just got too many things. Originally, it was just gonna be for the bid that we sent out for road construction. But we were talking about the administrator, so I'm hoping that we can have that done to vote on that, and then there was a couple other things that need to be dealt with, and I just can't think right now.
Those were the only two I was thinking of, but
Yeah, I know there's a third one.
Okay.
I got it at home written down. I just can't remember it. But anyways, we'll try to keep it short. Oh, I know another thing, we need to have a consent agenda because I got two people for the vacancies for the committees and I want to get them on board
oh, okay.
so they can hit the August meetings if they can. So we need to have a full board.
So we are gonna do a special village board meeting or no?
We're doing a village board meeting without special.
Okay.
Because the rules under special is it's just like a one topic
Okay.
and you don't have the report, you don't have the consent agenda, but I need that.
Okay, when are we doing?
Well, it was gonna be is August 10th the second,
That's a Saturday.
oh, it is the second.
it?
It's the
12th.
12th, it's the second Monday of August, that's what we usually.
Okay.
All right, so like I
At
say,
6 o'clock, yeah.
yep, we'll do 6 o'clock again. It should be a short one, but I need to have a full meeting so I can put a consent agenda on.
Yeah, I think I have an operator license I can throw on there.
Okay, good. They kind of want that stuff as soon as we can. All right,
You said August 12th.
yeah, is that the second Monday? I want the second Monday of August.
Yes. but
The night before the election.
Um,
Yeah. Then border review is the 26th.
Yep,
Yep,
Sorry.
that's all right.
we'll feed you.
Okay, so then, what you received in the packet today was, the 2025 to 2029 capital improvement plan. This is just getting it, we will have that on the December. That's when we do it, so you have 30 days to ask questions, you've got the information on the ambulance, how that has come down a little bit, so. That's where we're at with that.
And if we do have questions, should we just ask Bobby ahead of time? or-
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Could you check, were you asking the second Tuesday for meeting space here? Like, is this open for that meeting?
It's the second Monday.
Second.
Because
Monday.
Parks is the third.
It
Yeah.
should be,
Monday.
we've always had it. Before you came on, what we decided when we went to one meeting. We weren't gonna go past 10 o'clock. If we got to 10 o'clock, everything would shift to the second Monday of the next month to
Okay.
cover up that. So that has always been kind of our reserve date. For if we need another meeting.
I only asked because we had a parks meeting the one time. And I think it was the second Tuesday, but it was safety commission, public safety was here.
Oh,
That just came through my brain, sorry.
okay. No, we should, this is usually the second Monday should be clear.
Oh, Tony dropped off.
Okay, so any future agenda items? Judy,
Do we need to put it on the agenda for, to respond to Dana Vernon for her email that she sent us? Or do we need to address that or during?
I have, is that the circle?
Yeah,
We've been working on that.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, did she send it to all of us?
Yeah. Yeah.
She asked that I share that with the entire board.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it, so let me
Oh, so we
read it, but I've been working with Jeff Anderson on that. Yeah, it's been huge for me. All right, any other,
Yes, but not talking.
well, no, it's that they're just not doing it. It's frustrating, extremely frustrating. Okay, so, can I have a motion to go into closed session?
I move to go into closed session.
I'll second it.
All right, I have a motion and a second for closed session. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kettlebaiter,
Yes.
trustee Bratton,
Yes.
trustee Paul Mikowski,
Yes.
trustee Brooklyn,
Yes.
trustee Brenner,
Yes.
trustee Borcar,
Yes.
president Lightfoot.
Yes, can we isolate,
Cameron's the only one on.
but no one can hop in with.
No,
listening?
I won't add them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Can I go tell my
Just
order
make
about
sure when
it?
you do the meeting thing, it doesn't.
Oh,
you don't
probably
post it up.
pause.
motion for adjournment.
Move here.
Second. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say. Did you catch that on?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'm sorry, I forgot what.